Hi everybody, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. Now, some of you will be making your way to level 110 in Legion now, and that means, of course, that the zone of Suramar is unlocked to you. Now, one of the early quests that you get, the storyline quests, is one that takes you to a ley station to find Arcanist Valtros. It's the Elor'shan Hollow one. I've got it going on over here in the distance. But what I've heard from a lot of people is they're actually struggling to find themselves NightFallen Rep. And one of the quests, again, is to actually move from friendly to honoured. And that will push the story on quite significantly, at least for the next couple of days or so. So what you might not know is this quest that's going on here, there are actually a further 7 ley stations which are hidden underneath of Suramar. And if you open up and unlock these ley stations, you'll get yourself 75 rep with the NightFallen. So those 7 together combine to make 525 rep, and that is not to be sniffed at, especially if you're so close to that honoured bracket. Now, humans, of course, because you do have the racial, which adds 10% onto reputations, you will get slightly more, but you get slightly more on everything. So I doubt anybody that's rolled a human character will have any issues pushing from friendly to honoured. But this one here was a little puzzle. You had to marry up the blue and the purple lights together, and it was all well and good. And then afterwards, of course, the storyline continued onwards. So in the description down below, if you're after a specific ley station, I've broken it up by time codes. Let's go through all the hidden ones. So, in no particular order, actually, I think they're alphabetical, but, you know, never mind. The first one that we're going to discover is the ley station of Elor'shan. Now, there I am on the map, facing south. To the left of me, as I'm facing south, very important, is the flight path here. So, we're going to use the flight path as our point of direction. We're going to go to the right-hand side of it, downwards, but then hang a left by these rocks here, follow it around, and hey presto, that flight path is actually sat on top of ley station Elor'shan. When you go inside of it, you'll find some Darkborn. They're the ones that come from Suramar. They're nasty ones. You'll have to fight your way through to the pylon in the centre. Now, there's no intricate puzzle this time around. All that you need to do is make sure you've brought 250 ancient mana with you. So stock up before you come, and then boom, that is going to activate it. That's the ley station dealt with, and you get yourself 75 rep. Now, these are very important to discover, and I'll discuss that a little later on into the video as to why. Let's move on to the next station. Now, this might look very familiar indeed if you've seen any of my Withered Army training videos, because yes, that is actually the starting point. There I am on the world map, and I will be bringing up the world map for every location, but just by the by. Now, this is actually going to be for the ley station for Falanaar North, and I'll do straight away after this Falanaar South, because this sprawling metropolis underneath of Suramar is so big, it actually required 2 ley stations to keep it going. And I've sped up the footage quite substantially because you have to fight your way to get through it. So it's almost as if you are doing the Withered Army training all over again, just without the army. And you've got to go through all the twisted, horrible Nightborn. I think I called them Darkborn in the previous ley one. I can already hear people in the comment section. So these are the Nightborn that went underground, started to feed off the arcane energies underground, and they became these horrible chimera type of half night elf, half spidery creatures. Ugh. They're absolutely disgusting, but disgusting in an awesome way to fight against. And if you just follow the pathway that I'm going, we're going into this room now, and there you go. In the back right-hand corner is the actual ley station. Now, in the previous one, I also mentioned it's very important that you do pick up these, because every 2 ley stations, I believe, that you find when you return back to Elor'shan, which is the home base, that Valtris she'll actually have another quest for you. It's simply a quest to say congratulations on finding a couple of ley stations. Here, the ancient mana, which you now discover through bodies and such in Suramar, is going to be increased just a tinsy-wincy little bit. She'll also give you a little bit of extra rep on top of that. So that 525 will just get bumped up even more. So it could push you towards that goal of requiring that you need to break from friendly to honoured. So here we go again. And once more, this is a ley station after a big ton of fighting. You need to bring 250 ancient mana with you. So do make sure you have that, because you don't want all that fighting to be for nothing, do you now? Okay, so let's have a look where Falanaar South is situated. So I'm going to use this broken bridge in the middle of Falanaar as a reference for exactly where I am. And this will also give you a good indication of exactly how big Falanaar as an area really is. Because if we look over to the right-hand side, we'll actually see where we started for the Falanaar North ley station. But we're going to hang a left and, well, quelle surprise, go south. And this is where we're going to go to the Falanaar South ley station. Now, once more, I have to reference the Withered Army training, because this tunnel that we're just coming up to here on the left-hand side, this is actually the finish point for the Withered Army training scenario, which again gives you an indication of how massive that is within itself. Now, be careful in the tunnels. When you first go in, there's some really nasty mana worms. Melee won't have any problems against this, but as a spellcaster, I did, because I found myself constantly locked out, because I'm a cloth wearer and because I'm in relatively low gear at the moment. They were hitting like absolute trucks to begin with. So there were a couple of hairy instances, while I was down here, but you're just going to have to make your way through the tunnels come what may. Once these mana worms have been dealt with, then you'll come across some bog standard withered. They're at least not going to silence you, and they should be pretty easy to get rid. Now, if we were to put this again in terms of the Withered Army training, the room that we're looking for is very close by. We don't have to fight through too much stuff like we did in Falanaar North. This actually takes us down below to where the Elf Breaker, I think, was situated in that scenario, and the pylon is there right into the middle of the room. Go over to it, accept the quest, and this is another one where you have to bring 250 ancient mana along. So once more, make sure you have that before you venture down here, and that's another ley station discovered. So this next ley station is actually my own personal favourite. Why? Because it's called Kel'balor. I know, I'm a man of such simple pleasures, and some would say just simple. Now, if we have a look on the map, it's to the south of the Crimson Thicket. You see the building, we're just to the right of that building, but that map shows you that there's a pathway that juts off into two different areas. We are going to take the left-hand pathway, and that'll lead us immediately to a set of stone stairs that lead down and turn into the Kel'balor ley station itself. And this also returns us to a more traditional, there's only 8 of them, but a more traditional looking ley station. The ones in Falanaar North and South were completely different from the other 6. The other 6 all look like this. They all have the same setup, so you're never going to get lost. Now, once you get to the middle of this one, it's slightly different than the others. You have to hand in 200 mana, but before you can do that, you have to go through a wee bit of a horde mode. There will be withered, which will come from various corridors. There'll be about 3 or 4 of them, not that many in a pack. You fight them off, you kill them, another load will come from another corridor, and then again defeat them, and a final load will come from a third corridor. Fight them off, it will complete it, and then you can click onto the ley station, add the 200 ancient mana, and boom, you've got yourself another ley station activated. So now we're going to shift ourselves over to the complete other side of Suramar. This is going to be on the far western area, and it's just to the south of Moonguard Hold. Not the main entranceway that you go across the bridge, that's on the east-hand side. This is actually the back entrance. There's a quest which starts here, if you haven't already picked it up. But we're not physically going into Moonguard Hold. We're actually going to jut away left just before we go up the staircase. And there's a very good reason why I'm riding the Water Strider, because we've got to go across the river which runs to the western side of it. There's some other Water Striders on there. They're very aggressive, so try not to get hit. If you get hit, you're going to go into the water. It's just a bit of a ball lake, that's all. And then we arrive at the ley station. And this one is protected by some volatile wraiths. What you need to do here, again, slightly different from the norm. You've got to hand in 200 ancient mana, but this time you've also got to get 6 stones as well. So you go around defeating the wraiths to get the stones. They're the ones that drop them. And then when you have all 6, simply go back to the pylon in the middle and complete the quest. Lo and behold, that will be your 6th ley station if you follow the full order of this out of 8, and only 2 more left to discover on your list. So we're now going to jump from the west side of Moonguard Hold over to the east side. No gang fights, please. Of Moonguard Hold, as we can see on the map. And this one is for the achievement for Moonwhisper Gulch, which is the area that I'm in now, even though the ley station itself is actually called Moonfall. But that's just semantics, really. And when you do this quest, be prepared, get on your Water Strider again, because just like the other side, before we get to the actual Moonguard Hold itself, we're going to hang a left, go across some water, and here we are. Now, this one is just a typical quest. You go to the pylon in the middle of the ley station. What you need to do is recover a dish that's required to repair the pylon itself. This can be found on Thunder Chomp Trunk Smasher. Why doesn't anyone have a normal name in this game? I do not know. He patrols the area in Moonwhisper Gulch. So that's probably why the achievement is named after the area before the actual ley station and not the ley station itself. But like I said, that's just semantics. So once you've killed him and looted the required object, return to the ley station, hand it in. Hey presto, that is the penultimate one on your list with just 1 more left to go. So this one takes us deep inside of Falanaar Hold, which is a Legion quarry-esque area in the southwest corner of Suramar. And I'm right down in the thick of it here. If I just pan the camera around, you can see I'm not at the top. No, I'm right down inside. So the actual Soul Vaults itself, which is the ley station that we need to go into, very similar setup before. Don't worry about the Withered. Chained up. They like it. They're cool with that. And the pylon, once more, is in the centre, where all the others are. And this one is actually a very simple one. All you need to do is have 250 ancient mana. Hand that in, it will complete and activate the ley station, and if you follow the guide, all 8 of them will now appear and complete as a full achievement. And of course, you get that valuable rep, which you probably will need for the NightFallen as well. So there we go. Those are all the 8 ley stations which are hidden and scattered around Suramar itself, and I really do hope that you enjoyed the vid. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Links in the description down below, and I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care, everybody. Bye-bye.